DC United's schedule promises nearly a planet worth of travel before healthy home stretch. From the moment it broke ground on a new stadium at Buzzard Point last March, DC United knew the 16-month construction timetable would force the team to play a heavy load of away matches at the beginning of the 2018 season. Would it break the MLS record of 10 straight on the road? Or take up temporary residence at nearby venues for respite from its travels? On Thursday, United learned the full severity of its lopsided calendar. After moderate demands over almost 2 months, a period interrupted by 2 home games at alternative venues in the metro area, United will accumulate frequent flyer miles in bulk across 7 unforgiving weeks. Road trips are one thing, a bus ride to Philadelphia or a train to New York barely register. Road trips to distant locations are quite another. DC United will play 2 at home and about a dozen away before Audi Field opens, and so away they'll go. May 12, Salt Lake City, 3,730 round-trip miles and 2 time zones. May 19, San Jose, 4,870 and 3 time zones. May 28, Los Angeles, 4,602 and 3 time zones. June 9, Seattle, 4,708 and 3 time zones. June 30, Boston, 840 and no time change. July 4, Los Angeles, 4,602 and 3 time zones. Total, 23,352, almost the circumference of Earth. I was expecting worse, Coach Ben Olsen said. Look, we all knew this was coming. When I first looked at the schedule, it was whoa. But when you start putting it down on the calendar, those West Coast games are pretty spread out. We'll get through it. The matches are far enough apart that United will probably come home after each one, except for the last stretch, which would probably entail a flight from Boston to LA. Of note, MLS rarely bundles away games for the purpose of easing travel demands. Of insane note, MLS requires teams to almost always fly commercial. There are 4 exceptions per year. The antiquated aim is to prevent a competitive imbalance between team investors willing to pay for charters and those who aren't. United, a thrifty organization while taking a financial hit at RFK Stadium, had never arranged charters. Sorry, rookie, you've got the middle seat again. It could have been worse. For stadium revenue purposes, club management wanted MLS to schedule all 17 home games in a 4-month stretch, leaving United with about a dozen away matches between early March and late June. The 2018 haul contrasts with United's 2017 slate. DC left the Eastern time zone once in the first 4 months. Not that it helped from a competitive standpoint. United was 5-9-3 at the midway mark and finished 9-25. Last in the Eastern Conference and tied for last with the Los Angeles Galaxy in the overall standings. With a cohesive unit returning from a successful season, this year's schedule would not seem as imposing. But United was a bust last year. It never had a winning record, never rose above 7th place after the first week and finished on a 1-5-1 skid, and is in the process of renovating the roster. 4 potential starters have arrived. Another could join soon, and the club remains in the market for additional help, particularly at striker. With the newcomers needing to integrate and MLS's schedule maker offering no favors, Olsen will aim to survive the road adventures and pick up most, if not all, available points in the 2 early home matches. Maryland Soccerplex and Navy are close to being finalized, before settling into the new digs. In 2017, United was 3-12-2 on the road with a -25 goal differential. Although DC doesn't have any taxing trips for the first 2 months, many of the matchups are imposing. High-powered Atlanta, Eastern Conference finalist Columbus, U.S. Open Cup champion Kansas City and MLS Cup champion Toronto. Both spring home games are against 2017 playoff teams, Houston and Vancouver. United received byes on April 21 and May 5. After a short trip to Chester, PA, to start a 7-game road swing, United will grow wary of airport terminals in a hurry. It will make its first appearance at Banc of California Stadium on Memorial Day to play expansion Los Angeles FC and, 12 days later, go to Seattle for the second straight year. Last summer, United blew a 3-goal lead at CenturyLink Field and lost to the Sounders, 4-3. DC will then play 15 of its final 20 matches at Audi Field, 10 on weekends and 5 on Wednesdays. Over the last 3 months, the only time it will leave the Eastern Time Zone is for the finale at Chicago. 9 of the last 11 games are at home, a nice setup if the early season rigors haven't already exacted a terrible toll. Read more. DC United will open Audi Field on July 14, setting up All-Star Week on waterfront. DC United acquires Venezuelan national team midfielder Junior Moreno. Mark your soccer calendar. List of U.S. and global events in 2000.